Okay, what the hell is going on with mage supports, guys? Welcome to this Patchnotes review rundown. My name is Shepherd's Eagle and we're gonna talk a little bit about the new meta we're gonna approach with this patch. It's patch 10.22 and we got finally our Sona meme champion number 2, whatever, Seraphine. I think basically this is a clash up of a little bit on Nico and mostly Sona. If you take nameplates off and basically remove the whole story and tier thing, I think this could potentially count as a Sona rework. Basically, I would expect people to swallow that. It's a little bit over the top, of course, but yeah, I'm not too hyped about that new eagle coming in. I think it's a little bit overrated. It's gonna appear in mid, maybe in support too, but yeah, whatever. It's like a Sona rework, whatever, but just a lot more powerful. Whatever. Let's move on. Amumu, what the hell? Like, okay, it doesn't root and disable anymore, it just stuns, like you're completely disabled. Okay, whatever. Next, we're coming to the supports. Mage supports are on fire on this patch. Like, Annie had a shield before that was purely focused on herself and Tibbers. Now it's basically like, hey, let's enable Annie as a support mage again. We had Annie as a support already seen in some metas. It was viable, I would say. From now on, with this patch, Annie support is definitely a thing. You can do it. Like, it gives a shield on, if you put like 5 points in your E, that gives 240 base shield plus 0.4 scaling with AP. So this is pretty nice for playing any support, because you also get an 800 range on that spell, so you always can reach your AD carry or a jungler who's ganking your lane and bot lane if you are play any support, to give a shield, to give utility, to basically make yourself effective as a support. You cannot only flash Tibbers anymore, like Annie was flash Tibbers basically, and now it's flash Tibbers plus a shield. Nice! So this thing here I expect to basically work around support a lot. You can utilize the new E in mid lane, of course, too, because you can also use the shield on Tibbers, which also doesn't lose any benefit. So let's move on. Ashe. I think, just to make this short, you don't have on level 1 or 2 anymore the 9 arrows, but you have 7 and 8 in the first 2 steps on the volley. Totally dedicated to the early laning phase of Ashe, because basically, especially at Worlds, we saw Ashe as a very reliable early game champion in bot lane, very safe for laning, very hard to engage on because she can always keep the enemies on distance just through her volley. So this one gets a little stronger when you put 5 points in it, so it's even more of a threat when you get into late game. Sorry. Brand. As I said, the mage supports are on fire. Hahaha. The text here is, yeah. Let's just read the text at least, so we get a little bit of the Riot stuff in there, what they think about this. Once upon a time, Brand was a mid laner, as if he was not at any point. But in recent history, he's found a comfortable home as a support. True that. I play him as a support too, pretty nice, because of his percentage scaling. To give him some steam. Okay. We're firing up his offensive to promote a more aggressive playstyle. Nice. In addition, sorry, we tapped down the percentage damage that support Brand typically rely on in order to even out his overall power. So no more support Brand? What? We're gonna come to that later again. Altogether, this should help Brand feel equipped to blaze back, haha, into mid without overstepping his current strength as a support. Wow, alright. To make that clear, they're taking away some of his percentage damage, like 12 to 16 it was before, 10 to 14 it's now. This is a little bit lower, to be honest. I don't know if it's gonna impact support Brand that hard, because of course if you get the percentage damage and you get out of laning phase without a lot of items, maybe because you didn't get ahead or something, you can still do damage because it's percentage damage. So that's nice. It got nerfed a little bit, but honestly, as a support Brand, like, you're not a mid lane Brand, you know, you're not like expected to burst the target down from 100 to 0 in one rotation. So I don't think this is gonna impact support Brand too much here. On the other hand, I think, of course, his E now, like before it was basically you had to hit a target, minion, enemy champion with a spell to blaze it. So when you put your E on that, like cast your E on a blazed target, it would spread. Now it spreads without hitting anything before. Like, if you just hit your E, it spreads. If you like hit nothing before, it just spreads for 300 range, which is decent, I would say, for doing basically nothing to spread it before. And if you have a target that's blazed already by the passive, hitting any spell before, you basically spread for 600 range. So this is massive for mid lane. And now we come to the support role. Since I'm playing Brand Support 2, I know that it's pretty useful to proc your support items, like to get the gold. You can use that E so effectively now, because you basically just hit anything which is in close range to the enemy champion and it gets procced. Easy gold. So I think this is very nice for Brand Support 2. And you can also get your rotation, your combo with the spells to get the passive, like the explosion and the stun maybe, of easier. So I think this is nice for mid lane, but also for support. I expect to see a lot more support Brand. And his R was a much needed change in my opinion, because his ultimate was basically useless in a 1v1. Maybe you had some minions to help to proc the passive explosion, but if you didn't have any minions nearby for the enemy champion you were fighting against, your ultimate was basically a Q without a stun. So now basically his ultimate bounces off Brand himself. Totally amazing for a 1v1, I think a much needed change there, and it's gonna make Brand in mid lane a lot more scarier, because as an assassin you look for the 1v1, you look for the all-in, and if you know that Brand ultimate just bounces you up until you are stunned, or if you get the passive explosion on yourself, a lot of damage, I think most assassins are gonna be a little bit more cautious about that. For bot lane, I think this doesn't have too much of an impact. It can work well in such scenarios where you try to all-in as a support, whatever, if it happens sometimes, but not much more. So I think combining Annie and Brand, both the fiery supports as Riot teased it, that they would change this one in the meta, in this patch, not the meta, sorry, pretty true. Like this is totally dedicated towards the fiery thing on the Rift. And Brand and any support as well, I think we're gonna see those a lot more. Brand mid lane, maybe it's gonna take some time, I think. Some people are gonna experiment with it, but let's move on to the Galio. Useless change there, but alright. Like if you dash now, before you had this indicator where it showed you that you could dash really, really closely and not too far ahead, and now you at least dash a minimum of 250. From the E origination, not the dash back. So you still got the dash back. I was a little bit confused if they removed that, but no, they didn't, I think. You just, like, from where you start, you at least dash 250 range. So you're basically a lot more towards that all-in. You're not gonna use that too much, or all-out. You're not gonna use that too much as a, playmaking skill anymore that you can work with a lot. It's basically very simple now. So next one, Jinx. Why has that taken so long? Like seriously, that champion is from Stone Age, and right now Riot decides to make the flame choppers deal damage when you step inside them. Like, why do we even have that other thing before? Why did we have this? Because if you step in a bear trap, it's not like bong and it doesn't do any hurt or damage, and like after 1.5 seconds you realize, oh damn, this hurts. Like seriously, come on. Whatever. So flame chompers instantly deal damage now, all the damage up front. Karthus Q gets a little bit nerfed here, a little bit less damage. Whatever, alright. LeBlanc I think this is a little bit more rewarding since her E does a lot more damage now. The both what? How do you say that? Instances? Whatever. Both E procs basically do a lot more damage, and it costs a little less mana. So we get back a little bit to the one-shot meta where LeBlanc could just jump at you right in your face, E, ult E, and you're dead. So expect a little bit more of one-shot potential from her. Nice for LeBlanc minions, of course. Lulu gets a nerf on her Q, does less damage, I would say. Surely. So Lulu moves a little bit more in the direction to really basically rely on being in a support position, because we've seen Lulu top lane also at international tournaments. I don't think Riot wants Lulu to be up there whysoever. Like, maybe they don't like hyper carry combos, or Lulu is just annoying as hell in top lane. Whatever, gets nerfed a little bit. Alright, Nasus. I still don't get why this has taken Riot so long, because before that patch you had to ult and then wait for the resistances to build up slowly, so you get more tankier when you ult, and now it's just instant pop and you ult and you get all the resistances instantly. So Nasus mains, hey yeah! Samira, I think the people figured out that champion finally, how the combo works and stuff, so it turned out that this champion just does not die. So gets nerfed in attack damage and armor, so it's a little bit harder to go for the all-in since the armor is nerfed, so you get blown up a little bit easier. Sejuani so her ultimate gets a little bit more damage, a lot more damage basically. The base damage really goes up there, and you have a little bit more of that all-in burst potential if you gank and want to help, for example in mid lane, an assassin to burst the target down from 100 to 0. The damage helps a little bit in 1v1 in jungle. This is really nice, so you are a real threat when you ult, and it feels a little bit more rewarding to ult. Xayah, who the hell is Xayah? Have we seen that champion at all? At Worlds, not even once. Like, seriously, this was much needed. No one even knows that champion anymore. So the attack speed growth will feel well deserved. I don't know if it's enough to bring her back, to be honest, but we'll see about that. Zed gets a little nerf to his E, which is, well, it really hurts that Zed for that all in. So if you are expecting to burst a target by using multiple E's from multiple shadows, maybe you should count that in so that you have a little less burst there. But overall, the Zed mains, this won't really hurt you or anything. If you maxed E first, maybe this might be the time where you max Q first again. So basically that's about it, guys. That's the patch note rundown. I didn't want to make it too long because it's still patch notes, of course it's important, and we're gonna see a lot more of those mage supports again. I expect them to be in bot lane banned sometimes, maybe, any support. We're gonna see a lot of people who are gonna experiment with that and feed potentially, even maybe myself if I would try it. But yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. Thank you a lot for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you like that content, what I do here. Leave a like and tell me what you think. Where are you watching from? Who are you? I want to know that. My name is Shepherd's Eagle. I'm on my way to becoming a League of Legends team coach. Hard way, I can tell you. Have a good day, have a nice evening whenever you're watching. Take care, love and respect for you guys, and bye bye.